talk, real people, real conversation. Week to week, this the place to get your inspiration. Go and sit back and unwind, sipping on your coldest glass of wine. This the home of girl bosses and the warriors. Went from if they ask, they got that fire. This the podcast that came to Aspire. Welcome to Aspire Podcast, home of the real talk, real people, real stories. Give it up one time for y'all hosts, Sujay.
I'll always love my song. My intro song it was written obviously for the show, but I appreciate it. Welcome back, guys. An all new episode of Aspire Podcast with me, Jay. I'm freaking nervous today. It's the first time I'm probably nervous since I started this show. I got the tablet, so if you guys want to come join me, it would be great. Yeah, today we are talking about it's a hard subject to talk about, but it's something that I really want to. I be telling everybody, like, come share your story, tell me your deepest, darkest, and so a lot of people don't know parts of mine. So this one I'm gonna dedicate to my dad, my brother, and my uncle, and you guys will see why shortly. But I'm just gonna get right to it. Come live, come talk to me. I'm here. So I really believe, I'm a true believer that sometimes you go through things in life so it could prepare you for other things down the line. Like, I truly believe that that's like life. Like, you learn this lesson so that you can be better in the future. At least if you learn the damn lesson, pay attention, learn the lesson. But I'm going to share a video, and then I'm going to go into details about my family. The video is a little bit hard to watch, but I feel like without the video, you won't get the gist of things that I'm going to be talking about. So here goes. Viewer discretion is advised because it's a little tough to watch.
Bro, he's sleeping. But I don't know what happened to him. You feel me? Like shit, bro. Oh my God, but he's sleeping. You hear him fucking.
His wife's name.
Bro, check his pocket for his phone.
Huh? His phone
bro.
Got a lock on it.
Bro.
Hold on.
Bro.
He felt hard, right?
Bro, all three, bro, they were coming and they all fucking fucked up.
Where's the other one?
He's somewhere. He went somewhere. I think that nigga fucking.
He's sleeping. He's probably
He
his
went
lung might
somewhere?
get him.
Yeah, bro, he was the only one good. I don't know where the fuck he went, but he's gone. His bike, he took his plate out of his bike and gone, bro. That shit might.
Because he don't want to be involved.
Yeah, he don't want. Yo, he's coming though, so vámonos, Yulisa, vámonos. Bro, he's sleeping. But I don't know what happened to him. You feel me? Like shit, bro.
Oh my God.
But he's sleeping. You hear him fucking.
His wife's name.
Bro, check his pocket for his phone.
Huh?
His phone
Bro.
Got a lock on it.
Bro.
Hold on.
Bro.
So, jeez. I swear I never get tired. I never not get emotional watching that video. So, that was my baby brother. But before I get into his full story, I want to tell you about my dad. And, so my dad, he lived in New York. He lived in New York since the time he was like 3. And we moved to Florida. He stayed in New York. July of 2003, my dad was hit by a drunk driver in a semi truck and left there to die. My dad was thrown over 150 feet into an overpass, and he had a traumatic brain injury, a really serious traumatic brain injury. They didn't think he'd make it past one night, and so we flew on the red eye and went to New York. But miraculously, really, my dad lived like 3.5 years in a coma. I was 17 when that happened. I had just graduated high school. Um, and so, he was in a coma. There was a lot of talk. They found the guy. Obviously, he was in a work truck. You can't really hide a semi. Um, but because my dad was in a coma for so long, the guy pled guilty essentially to almost a misdemeanor and got 3 months in jail. He lost his job, but my dad lost his life. And why I say that is because I feel like the justice system was a little shitty to my family when it came to holding people accountable. I mean, 3 months, a lifetime, you know what I'm saying? But I don't really hold on to anger a lot. In general, I'm not an angry person by nature, but that whole situation, us being so young, we didn't know really how to handle it. We had an uncle, and shout out to my uncle Tito, because he did survive an accident. Maybe in '92, I was a little girl, but that's all we really knew, was that accidents happen, whatever. But in the 3 years that I was with my dad, flying back and forth, trying to understand like what even is like a traumatic brain injury and why does that cause so much damage to a person. It was really like really hard. But my dad going through that kind of set me up for my brother. So in 2006, after 3.5 years of battling, and he was breathing on his own. So what I want to say is that yes, my dad was in a coma. He had a tracheotomy initially, which is a breathing tube through your trach, through your throat essentially. But eventually he was breathing on his own. So it wasn't like a decision we had to pull the plug. Maybe initially, yeah, but we didn't believe in not giving someone a chance, obviously, to survive. And so he passed. I was pregnant with my first child in 2006 when he passed. But all of that taught me to like persevere, to keep going, to believe in something greater than ourselves, right? I had to have a little hope. I was pissed off at my family because they kind of dealt with it when he passed almost passively, but now I understand it was just like he was free of something. And really why I'm sharing this story is because I've met a lot of people in the last maybe year that have had some kind of traumatic brain injury or have a family member of that, and I just felt like a fraud telling them my story and not you guys. So that's why I'm doing this. So when I tell you God has a way of prepping you for seasons in your life that you're not even sure are going to happen, watching my dad kind of deteriorate for years was probably what I thought at the time the hardest thing I'll ever go through, right? Because how do you go through that twice? But I will say it's the hardest thing to mourn somebody who's still alive, sort of, day in and day out, and never knowing when that day will come or if that day will come. So it's really difficult. So if you have anybody that went through that, like, give them some empathy, because it's not an easy thing. Imagine every day mourning a death that hasn't happened, day in and day out, and the constant fear of knowing that something might happen. I got comfortable, so by the time I was pregnant, I'm thinking, like, it's a routine that you get into, but I got comfortable just knowing that my dad was there, and then he passed, right? So it prepped me for my brother. So I showed you that video. My brother was in what they call an intentional vehicular homicide. He was on a motorcycle with his friends, and essentially somebody that wasn't a friend rode with them and purposely caused an accident of him and a friend of his. So what that video showed is that after the fact, there was people who recorded my brother. I don't know these people. They haven't been identified, but they recorded him, robbed him, um, talked about him, did videos all throughout online. At this time, it was like Facebook was more heavy than IG, but not a single soul called 911. Not a single soul called 911. They did this for probably about 15 minutes, right? Took them, somebody eventually called 911 that wasn't in the group, and they were able to come to my brother. But what I will tell you about brain injuries, my brother had the exact same injury on the exact same side of my dad, on their right frontal lobe. And those injuries, if not dealt with immediately, will cause permanent damage or death, right? Why I showed that video is because, first of all, it pissed me the hell off when people recorded rather than calling 911 to someone that some of them were his friends. Some of them he knew, some of them he chose to ride with. So that's a trust thing. But not a single soul. None of them thought, okay. They thought, check his phone. Let me take his phone, possibly. They thought, let's take his money out of his wallet. Let's take his wallet. Let's do all of the things but call 911. Then they posted this video. So when I found out of my brother's accident, almost immediately there was a video out. Almost immediately. And the anger, why I share it now is because it's the stupidest thing. Like, you know, we tend to care about social media to the point where, hey, this is going to go viral. The video was taken down by the police, but it took a lot. My brother's friends, and I use the term loosely to some of them, because some of them I know rode for my brother, but no one spoke. Everyone saw the man that did this, and no one spoke. The guy is still out there, and so that enrages me day in and day out. I have to live with somebody's living their life while this guy took eventually 2 lives. So my brother and his friend both passed, right? Why I say and why I'm doing this is really to give you guys like a second to think, or like the camera, I do this for a living, but it's not everything, you know, and people chose money and notoriety. Oh, look, I got this viral video. But nobody chose my brother's life. And so for that, I want to talk about, that's why I chose to talk about this too, is because at the end of the day, he had kids, he had a family, he had a wife, and nobody thought of him. Another thing I do want to talk about, because I don't want it to all feel so heavy, is that my brother, my dad, they were like some of the best people I knew. They had their faults. They were, they did a lot of stupid shit too, but they were kind. They had your back. They were loyal, and none of them deserve this. When it came to my brother, I want to say, like, I was his keeper, you know, like I was his parental figure. Because if you know my story, we didn't have the best mom or the best upbringing, but he was my guy. Like, he was my best friend. So it was just shit. I'm just like, it was just shit. It was just the shittiest situation. My family was so ununited. It was so different compared to my brother, to my dad. Like, we were all younger. My dad's side of the family is just the dopest set of people you'll ever meet, and they rode for us. But with my brother, there was no dad, you know, so it was just tougher. It was just something new, but I knew that at that moment it was just do or die. Let's get him taken care of. But my brother ended up in a coma after being resuscitated that night of his accident for about a year and a month. This past Tuesday was his anniversary of when he had his accident, and next month will be his anniversary of death. So why I really wanted to come on here is because he had kids too. He had a whole life, and in my family, it's hush, don't talk about everything. Oh my gosh, we don't talk about JC. We don't talk about the thing that killed him. We don't talk about the emotions behind it, and that's such bullshit. At the end of the day, like, if you don't talk about it, you don't heal from things. And I wanted to genuinely honor them, because if not me, who? And also, like, nobody, they're not on anybody's social media anymore. Like, people tend to forget who these people are, and I just want to keep them alive, in that their memory. Their kids want somebody to honor them, because they don't get honored. Both of them never had a funeral, and it's just crazy to me. I was able to speak at my brother's celebration of life a little bit, but they never got what they deserved, in my opinion. Shit, for the one person tuning in, thank you. What was I gonna say? So I had a woman come up to me, and it was at a party, and it was such a great experience, but she was telling me her story a little bit, and I feel like I met her with a purpose, because she made me realize that shit, we all should share these stories a little bit more. She had a traumatic brain injury, and you can survive them. All brain injuries are different, so it depends on where on the brain, and also just a lot of things that come into play. But she was like, oh my gosh, I can't even speak eloquently. I can't, like, make sense. And I was just telling her, I get it, because I've been through this. My uncle, who is the only survivor of my family so far with these traumatic brain injuries, but he had to learn how to walk, talk, eat, think, like, so I understood her. And I just wanted to share that we should be a little bit more kinder to these people, especially if you know that they've been through some kind of brain injury or anything like that, because the idea that your brain doesn't work ever again the way it was, or the way it used to, the idea that we're judged based on that knowingly, like, hey, she's weird, but shit, she's been through hell and back. Learning how to rewire your brain is such a hard thing, that I give props to all the people. And I know a lot of people now that have been through this, that have survived and had to learn how to eat, walk, to think, all of the things. Like, my hat's out to you, because I didn't have survivors, but they fought a good fight. Like, and I truly believe that you guys are fighting the good fight. I don't know that how I would be in the same situation. What else? What else do I want to talk about when it comes to my family? I will say too that if you ever go through this, which I hope nobody freaking ever has to, but if you do, it is so important to come together as a family and come up with a plan, because a divided family in these situations are the worst things that could ever happen. Like, my brother with my dad, like I said, we were so united. We were so like on board. Okay, who's helping? Who's gonna go see him this time? Who's gonna, you know what I mean? Like, we were just, it was just, and I give props to my grandma, who's no longer here. She is the matriarch, and she just kind of like, well, we're gonna do this, and we're not giving up, and we're gonna do that, and she passed while my brother was in a coma. And I will say that my brother set me up for that passing too. So everything comes first full circle. So I appreciate that my dad's side of the family is so great. When it came to my brother, I'm gonna keep it real. He had a wife that was not a team player, did not make it easy on us, made decisions that I probably wouldn't have agreed with. And she even made it hard for us to see my brother. And I fought a good fight. I was there, and I have no regrets about anything when it comes to my brother or my dad, because I know I was there day in and day out. I know that if anything, I valued their life, and some people didn't. So I appreciated that. But I don't know what to say. I feel like some of this was for me. I had to get it out. I had to honor them by speaking about certain things. It's always healthy to let it out, say it out loud. But it's the first time. I think some people didn't even know I had a younger brother. Some people that know me now, so my brother's accident was 7 years ago, and he'll be dead 6 years next month, December 1st. But a lot of people didn't know any of this. Like, they just knew me as Jay. I have a couple siblings, but I don't want that. Like, I never want people to forget that JC, and I'm gonna say his name because that's my baby, but I never want people to forget him. I never want people to not know. And it's the stupidest thing when people are just so quiet about death. Like, the whole point is to honor someone, right? The whole point is to believe in like their legacy and to be the best things that they were. So my biggest thing now is to take parts of the things that I love the most about all the people that have passed in my life and take it with me so that I can still, like, it lives through me. So my brother was a Rico Suave, sweet talking, hot guy that the girls loved, and he can dance and he was funny. And so I'm none of those things, but I try to be funny. He was a ride or die. Like, if you were his friend, and you were his friend. Like, a lot of his closest friends were 20 plus years, and my brother died in his 20s. So it says a lot about a person. My dad too, he would give you the shirt off his back. He was who he said he was, and that's a big thing for me, is like that authenticity. I learned it from him, and so I just keep going with that. Like, just be who you say you are, do what you say you're gonna do. And my dad say, don't punk out. Like, don't punk out. He would always say that to me, like, and he made me proud of even my name. He said to me, I would just be like, my mom calls me Jay. So he'd be like, nah, you Sujay, because Sujay is who you are. Yes, guys, my name is Sujay. And I was really embarrassed of my name growing up. And he was like, say it loud and say it proud. Like, you are who you say you are. So if you continue to say you're this person, you're this person. So I just learned that, and it's the best lesson my dad ever taught me. My younger brother taught me to be fearless. He did things the way he wanted to. There was no damn rhyme or reason. This man was annoying. Like, he was annoying. To those who knew him know, like, he would just be like over the top with everything. But it was my favorite part of him. Also, he loved the beach. So I have a thing when I'm down and out, or just feeling like lost, or just needing peace and serenity. The beach is where I go. Like, I can go there at night. I can go there early in the morning. I can go there. And it's not about like the sand, because I hate sand. It's just the serenity of the waves. And that's what he used to tell me. He's like, just listen, just chill and be still. As wild and always going, he was always going, always going. He knew to be still. So that was a life lesson I learned from him too. I want to say this before I get off, and I'm not getting off just yet, but before I get off this topic, is that just know who you are, who's surrounding you, know who you're dating, know who you're marrying, because it may not seem like a lot. Everybody says a piece of paper, which I don't agree with. It's so much more than a piece of paper, but I'll say this openly. If my brother was married to someone else, he probably would still be alive. And I say that with everything in me, and I don't care who has anything else to say. I watched so much go down that shouldn't have gone down. And in the state of Florida, at least, your spouse can decide who visits you, what medications that you take. And this is dead in a coma or not. Your spouse is responsible for those decisions. Know who the hell you're marrying, because those decisions are everything. And I used to not think like that. And I take marriage, even though I've always taken marriage so seriously, I take marriage even more seriously, because at the end of the day, you want to know that the person that you married has your best interest, your family's best interest, and everything at heart. Because when I tell you that that I was kept from a lot of decisions, I was kept from a lot of time with my brother. I didn't know that people thought like that. I didn't know that people thought that it was okay to keep their family away. It was like, you know what I mean? The malice that people can bring into a marriage is wild. So just beware of that. When I tell you that now I see marriage as not just I'm in love with this person, but yo, I trust this person to not take me off life support, or not take me off the medication that's going to keep me alive, to not stop food, because that all happened to my brother. And it's really important to know that who the hell you marry and trust them. And maybe get yourself like, I have a living will and I'm 40 because of what happened to my brother. There's nobody that's going to decide for me what is going to happen in my life, and nobody's going to decide to keep my children, to keep my family away. Nobody's going to decide that. Anyway, I didn't want to really go into detail about that, but I wanted to tell you it's so important to have somebody that values your life, that lives for you, and that cherishes the things that you do. Because in an instant, and I say this, I've had a lot of health scares, I've had a lot of near-death experiences. I too was in a hit and run last year. And so it teaches you that if you are not with somebody that rides for you 100%, then leave them alone. Divorce, I don't care. At the end of the day, just leave. Because if you don't feel that somebody is gonna take care of you at your worst, you shouldn't even be married to them. Nobody's talking. I feel like it's such a deep conversation. I know. I'm trying to get a drink here. I'm thirsty. But I wanted to say this stuff. It's nostalgic. Yeah, it's to heal some parts of me, for sure. Of course it is. But it's to make people feel like they're not alone. We easily could have been like, shit, this happened a second, third time in our family. Like there's this curse. But I don't believe in curses. I believe in you change the trajectory of what your family should go through. So yes, I was in a hit and run. I survived, had a couple surgeries from it. Cool, I'm good. But I really feel like if you believe in any higher power, you have the ability to change your future. You really do. What else am I going to talk about? So I do want to say that I want to share their pictures, because it's really important to me. So the top picture is my dad holding baby Jay. I was probably like 3 months old there. It's my favorite picture of all time with us, because even though he's not my biological father, he was my father for everything. I don't speak that he's not my biological father, because he adopted me and he's been everything to me since. And then lower is my baby brother JC, Giancarlo's. And I really wanted to dedicate a podcast to them, to show what they mean to me, but also to show you guys that they existed in the world, and not to let anyone forget. So, I don't know if I want to open it up to questions or anything, but I'm probably not. I wanted to kind of stop right there. I know it's a shorter podcast, but I wanted to just bring that out to the light. Remind people to be kind. Remind people to not record when something tragic is happening. Those videos stay out there forever. I fought with the police, his family, his wife, everybody fought with the police because it was just the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. And why I showed it, and it's not even in its entirety, it's so that you guys can realize that those seconds, that video was about 35 seconds. Those seconds mean everything when it comes to somebody that is fighting for their life. And if you pick up a phone instead of picking up a camera versus picking up 911 phone call is crazy to me. So I wanted you guys to know that mattered. That time, my brother had to be resuscitated, and even though he had a brain injury, the lack of oxygen that he was getting to his brain that whole time would have saved him. And I mean, could have saved him. But yeah, do something better. Do something better with your time. Do something better. To those that robbed him, like, I hope that $40 or $50 you got was worth his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was the craziest thing I've ever thought. Like, I never, what his accident taught me versus my dad's, even though my dad's was a hit and run and it was a drunk driver, is that at least he was freaking drunk. These people had no excuse to be that cruel. It's like cruelty. I'm watching you die. I'm gonna record you though. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Don't do it. It's pointless and hurtful. You're not even thinking of the people that you're affecting that's not in front of you either. And to those that have brain injuries, to those that have fought the good fight, to those that have passed or who have people that have passed, it's possible to keep going. I didn't think that I was going to. My brother's accident really changed my whole life, but I will say it made me stronger. It made me persevere. Like, I don't give up on shit easily. And it made me truly be just a kinder soul. I have way more patience than I used to have. All the things, right? You have to have patience. You're waiting day in and day out for someone to wake up that didn't, and it's okay that they didn't survive, because at the end of the day, they were here and they left the impact all in itself. So it doesn't matter how short someone is on this earth. Like, you can really change. Like, he changed my whole life. So thank you guys for listening to my nonsense. I think it's important to share stories and to tell your honest truth, and so that people can understand where you've been, to know where you're going, and to know the point. Every year on my brother's birthday, for the last few years, I've done something that makes me afraid, because he was so daring and he was so, like, he was like, all right, I'm gonna get on this motorcycle. All right, I'm gonna get, and he did that from young. He was the kid that would grab rodents outside and bring them inside and just be like, look, my new pet white rat, or my new, you know what I mean? So every year I decide to do something that makes me scared. This year I didn't do it on his birthday because I wanted to do it for December 1st. So stay tuned. I'm going to have a clip of what I do. Something that makes me fearful, something I'm afraid to do. So I do it anyway. All right. Enough of that. I wanted to go ahead and share. So November 29th at Blue Martini, again, November 29th, I am going to be podcasting live from a toy drive. So the Merry Misfits are throwing a toy drive November 29th, Blue Martini, from 10 to 2. And two toys will get you in the door. But hey, if you want to leave a little something as a donation, you're more than welcome to. But bring as many toys as you can, unwrapped. Please unwrap toys. But bring them. Come hang out with us. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be for a good cause. It's I'm really excited to do it because I'll be walking around and kind of interviewing people, but also great DJs. Jay Johnson's is hosting, as well as Art in Motion. And so there's going to be artwork out there, great music, amazing DJs, friends of mine. So, but we're all going to be out there November 29th. You don't need tickets, just bring some toys. Come bring that donation, bring a little money so you can spend and have a drink. And yeah, so November 29th there. What else am I doing? Oh yeah, I want to remind you guys, Aspired Podcast has merch. So I have merch online. My website is aspiredpodcast.com. I wanted to share this because I always forget, and my people back here are like, listen, we have all these clips for you, share it. So I have merch. Also, I am in the I'm looking for sponsorship. So if you guys want to sponsor or want to collaborate in any way, come join me. Hit me up. I'm Aspired J. You can hit me up on IG Aspired Podcast, or you can email me on the website. It's all there. Yeah, that's about it. I wanted to thank you guys for letting me be a little vulnerable on camera, which, like, shit, I never like to do. And I didn't go crazy and cry, but I'm gonna cry later. Listen, I was prepared this time. I want to tell you, thank you guys. I've been getting so much love lately. It's humbling because I started this in a living room on a tripod with a phone and a friend, and we just started talking, and now it's become something greater than myself. Aspired Giving, and I don't have a flyer for that right now, but Aspired Giving, which is my nonprofit, is collaborating with Cornerstone Connections, and I'm doing a food drive. But this time I'm doing it a little different. I want you guys to hit me up if you guys want to donate non-perishables, if you want to do a cash donation or whatever. If you just want to support, let me know. Again, DM me, Aspired J, or at Aspired Podcast. You can also email me on the website, whatever you'd like. Everything's on there. But yeah, I feel like food should be something that everybody has. I'm very big on, and I haven't shared that story yet, but I'm very big on it because I was once a person that food was kept from. So food is love, and that's why I call it the Food is Love Drive. Every year I do it. It's probably year 3 or 4, can't even remember, but it's going on now. It's ongoing. Reach out to me to see how you can donate. And again, Merry Misfits Toy Drive, November 29th. That's a Saturday. Come bring your date, bring your hubby, bring your wife, bring whatever, your girlfriend, whoever. Bring them, hang out, and bring some toys, because it's all about the kids this year, okay? I am Aspired J, and I'm out. Love you guys. Bye.